Why content shares is really at the core of what we do, and trying to understand that. I would say that the way that we've approached it and have cracked it to the extent that we have has been to treat it like an experiment where we're trying to uncover the rules of it. So we make some anecdotal guesses where we look at share statements and we look at why people are sharing different kinds of content, and then we make content to test the assumptions that we come up with. And the three main categories that have come out of it is, one is identity. When a piece of media expresses your identity better than you can, or allows you to show interest in someone else's identity, even though you don't know much about a subject matter. The second would be emotional gift. So I want you to feel this way. It made me feel this way. And the third would be the social role of information, and that's usually like, it's not like education and things like that. It's more like proving an argument we've had all along, or the humble brag, or different ways that information can come into social relationships. It's a fairly robust group of people now. We're broken into 5 teams. Each team has a slightly different mandate, but all the producers, even junior producers, all come up with their own ideas, and they come up with it through brainstorms and then consensus. In other words, it's not like a top-down, hey, you guys are going to do this kind of strategy, nor is it a pitch-up process where they need to get big green lights. Except if they're making really big budget pieces, then obviously on the financial side. But on the ideation side, it's a really collaborative experiment where they're trying to advance certain questions that we have about identity, about geographic identity, your identity around sexuality, all these different things, and then testing also some of the the other frameworks like fictional narrative versus doc style versus all these different things. So yeah, it's super exciting. And the other thing is that we don't have specialization of labor, so we don't have writers, directors, DPs. We don't have all that stuff. I really focus on this new class of media creator, which are these run and guns. They can do everything, and so sometimes we suffer a little bit of a lack of specialization in one area or another, but we make up for it with a lot of energy and dedication. And as we grow, we're starting to specialize a little bit more in terms of hiring people that are really great at post-production, for example, but they still can manage a camera, they can direct a scene, and they can write. As Jonah had mentioned earlier today, I mean, he and I and a number of other people were part of an early internet scene where there wasn't really an industry to support what we did, but we were really interested in why some content seemed to spread. So, my career is roughly divided into these epochs, and the first was very, very specifically looking at virality and growth. The second was looking at participation and trying to understand why people did things in a non-commercial way, like why they would spend the time to make toilet paper clothing and things like that, and understanding how you could create rule sets that would energize people to do things. The third was really the beginning of video blogging, where I was thinking about how video blogs could really support this multimedia sort of, almost like vaudevillian entertainment platform, and did that for a while, and then I moved into gaming and had a startup in gaming, and then kind of came back full circle to work with Jonah directly on this problem, which I think of this as a kind of integration of all those different things. But I don't know, there's just been, over the years I've really focused on a lot of work, so the rapidity of work has been important to me, but I think some of my favorite pieces are still like the Earth Sandwich, where the fans put 2 pieces of bread simultaneously on opposite poles of the earth, which was pretty amazing. And there's a song called the Chill Out Song, which was written and then performed by 30 people for one person who had anxiety. And so there's, I definitely look back with some nostalgia back to the earlier days. I think that the challenge of this being in charge of video for Buzzfeed is it's equally as exciting, if not more, than all that other stuff. It's just that I don't have as much time to be directly involved in the media anymore. But I have, I get to work with just some of these incredible people. Some of them who are, just out of college, who just kind of get this stuff far better than I ever did. I definitely had to struggle, even conceptually, to keep the balloon up over the years. But this new crowd, it just has a very organic, natural sense of the integration of media and shareability and emotion. It's all part of the same thing to that generation.